Hi everyone, How's the Knee Please Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this new Thantifaxath record, Hive Narcosis. This is the newest full-length LP from Canadian metal outfit Thantifaxath. I caught on to this group somewhat early from a few teasers in the lead up to their debut record, Sacred White Noise, which was easily one of the most intense, wild, and creative black metal records of the 2010s in my opinion. But that was back in 2014. I haven't really heard that much from the band since, outside of a 2017 EP that was pretty good, was a fan favorite, but I assumed that as a group they were mostly dormant or lying on death's door at this point. But out of nowhere, bam! Almost 10 years later, new record. Goya painting on the cover. And even though it's been a while since the debut, kind of sounds like they haven't really skipped a beat on this one. They are still delivering this unhinged, avant-garde, progressive strain of black metal that is equally technical and vicious, which you can hear right from the opening track and lead single from this project, Solar Witch. A track that from front to back is loaded with all these twisted, spine-tingling guitar harmonies. That and this insane little groove experiment where the band will do a chord change after so many kick drum hits, but these kicks are constantly fluctuating in speed, going faster and slower and faster and slower. And each time, without fail, that chord change goes off without a hitch. It's just impressive that the band is able to pull this off so flawlessly, and without the music itself sounding too regimented or overproduced. Again, it's technical, it's horrifying, it's explosive, pretty much everything I would have wanted a new single from this band to be. And on the rest of the record, the band delivers 6 more experimental black metal ragers. The hellish display continues on to surgical UTOPIAN love. The blast beats and tremolo pick guitars at the start of this track sound like your usual black metal affair. The complex chord changes too make for a lot of hideous harmonies. And once more, there's a unique fluidity to some of the drum parts that make me feel like it's the rhythm section that's really leading this group. And this only accounts for one portion of this 10-minute track, as there are some really heavy and despondent riff passages that are quite slow and set things up for this descending spiral into madness led by an entrancing riff in 7/8 time. The whole thing comes to a pretty powerful finish too. It's great, it's immense, it's a roller coaster ride, but thankfully the following cuts are a bit easier to digest. We have the flawless speed and intensity that kicks off the Lost Wisdom of Wolves, and of course I love how visceral the start of this track is, but it's really the slower passages that I think captivate me the most, as again the band just shows they have this knack for these super dissonant, maddening guitar layers that are colorful and memorable but pretty gruesome too, which I think is also the appeal of Burning Kingdom of Now. That track pretty much is one tense chord change after another, though to the point where I think the first leg of the song does drag a wee bit. Not the greatest news, as this is one of the longer cuts on the project, but once those devilish church organ chords introduce themselves around the midpoint of the song, things are pretty much smooth sailing, I suppose. As smooth sailing as this record gets. And I will say the mushy demon vocals in the first leg of Hungry Ghosts are a bit of a tough sell too. It kind of sounds like Satan is trying to yell at me from the bottom of a well. Not crazy about that, unfortunately, but sub-LILITH tunnels, things kind of pick up here with a semi-dark ambient track that I think is a pretty necessary breather for such an intense and intricate album. It develops slowly and comes to a really thunderous conclusion too. Meanwhile, the closing track kind of turns the dissonant tremolo guitars back up to 11 for a really aggressive finish, showing the band firing on all cylinders, but considering how explosive and really nutso the record has been so far, maybe they could have gone a smidge harder. With all of that being said, though, I thought this was a really great and impressive return for Thantifaxath, and definitely one of the most dissonant, noisy, well-performed, and bestial black metal records you are going to hear this year. I'm feeling a light 8 on this one. Transition, have you given this record a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head, it's another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Thantifaxath, forever.